It is pointless to resist.
Oh. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 257, being recorded on May 1st, 2024. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Bootleg Joe is here.
Hey, yo.
And Grand Admiral Franz is here.
Hi.
I don't know why I'm so peppy. I've just, this is my, I had a very, very disturbing experience, which we'll get into. But before we do that, of course, we've got to shout out our Shadow Council, and everybody's being digested in a pit. So I'm going to hand it over to a very sick Scott Kruger, who decided to join us today but everybody wave because he is sick. Thank you. You take it away. It's all you.
All right. I shouldn't have done that. Excuse me.
Great.
Wow, I try to be funny and I end up hacking. Okay. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Thanks, everybody. To Shadow Council. It's AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, and by the way, Don the Dad Dorn, Stardust is the Death Star. Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, who went to Star Wars Night and got some amazing photos last night. I'm very, very jealous of that guy. Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, a.k.a. Lob Collectibles, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joe's podcast. Please, everybody, scan that code, become a Patreon member, or drop us a super chat. We'd appreciate it. And I'm done.
Nice. Do you have more energy for the pit?
I can do it.
Okay.
We've got Gordon Skalski's in there.
I see what you did there, Gordon. I see what you did there.
We got Don the Dad Dorn.
It's fine.
We've got Rhino Hobbies in there. We've got Matt Logic. Philippe Terrasas. Wow. I'm hanging in. Gavin Connor and Rick Jones. What is up, everybody?
Nice. You see how one show can throw us off our entire course of professionalism, and we just kind of go all over the place, and we're very in tune to the whole frequency of what's going on in Star Wars. But as we stepped out of one line, we entered another one, which I want to start off. This was a little bit of a higher note. 34 days away to the Acolyte hits. So we are standing in line for there. And I know that's we only have a couple days away for Tales of the Jedi Empire. Tales of the Empire, May 4th. And we are going to be previewing that as we're standing in line for the Acolyte, right? We're going to be watching the hell out of that. I am so excited for that animation. The one that's going to punch us in the face, dark side style, and it's going to be awesome. I don't know if like anybody in the pit or anything, but we saw what was the video that was released for the Acolyte that they had like I
don't even know where that was. It was overseas. It was
in France, right?
I forget, but it was somebody videotaped a big showing of the Acolyte, a scene of the Acolyte.
Yeah, it was basically the trailer scene, the opening scene with the fight. We got to see it, and we were talking about it. And I just want to bring this up, and with no spoilers and stuff. It's so close to the show anyway to like kind of deep dive it. But I just want to say that what we saw, and in accordance to in going hand in hand with the trailer, I'm actually calm about the Acolyte because it looks and feels really good. Like it feels all right. We've got some cinematography going on. We've got some epic action going on. The pacing. I mean, so far, again, what we've seen looks.
It was one scene and
it was
scramble of shots, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Or a sizzle
it was
right
cool.
after, but it was cool.
I always said that I wanted to see something, not just the trailer. That was, you know what I mean. So, my hopes are high. And expectations, I have zero at this point in life. Zero. But my hopes are high.
That's how I'm going to go into everything. I say that every time.
No, we do.
We all
That's
do.
the problem, though. We say
but
no
we do
expectations.
go in with low expectations. We do.
Yeah.
The problem is at the beginning, like a show, right? It's like, I hope this is good. Then you get going, and you're like, all right, this can go somewhere. You're giving me some breadcrumbs.
Yeah, breadcrumb. Okay.
I go back to Acolyte but I'm saying no expectations to start. But if the first 4 episodes are dope, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be blah blah blah, and then it putters out at the end, I'm gonna be upset.
The theme of tonight's show, and again, I want to get the pit's opinion, and we'll throw ours in there too. Is that we're not okay when we theory craft. I just want to put this out there as in general. When we theory craft, this is not just making stuff up as stuff that we want to see. We are basing a lot of our talk and our theory crafting on what was presented to us in black and white, in animation, in live action, what have you, right? We're taking those and we're going, oh my God, boom, 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 right? And we do that a lot. And sometimes what we get in live action or movies, it's different, but they don't ignore it. Okay, it's like, okay, they didn't go the route that we were talking about, but they didn't just like throw things in there and just completely ignore it. So I don't want there to be like this thing where like, oh my God, just enjoy the show or whatever it is. But it's not like we're not enjoying it. It's the fact that we're presented with a lot of facts and characters and stuff like that, and nothing is coming full circle.
We're deeply rooted in this universe.
Yes.
Right? So when you're making things connect or changes to certain things we're used to, you want to see them through. And especially when you say things like, this is going to wrap up George Lucas's part and the Clone Wars and all this, you're like, oh, and then you bring in some people and you're like, okay, this person is going to have some closure, right? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
And there's this big creature. Why did they're going to know what? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you closing up, man?
I mean, there were so many alley oops in this, and everybody missed. Everybody went for the dunk and it missed. Right?
Seriously,
You've got
sports metaphor. Look out!
I know. What am I doing?
Your day.
I'll Google that later.
Let's just. I mean, a simple one is Commander Cody. You made a big deal about Commander Cody being back.
Number
right?
one.
Yeah.
And I fully expected him to be one of those assassins that was. All right, but we're getting into it before we.
No, but you're right. I mean, that's right. You're dead ass right. They had put all that's one of the 13 different things. That needed to be settled. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Or was done wrong. And it was like, what the hell?
Exactly.
But here's before we even get into that. Let me just say this. Now, and I'll shut up for a while and let you guys roll. This is I'm a little upset because this is a very, very overwhelmingly positive response that I've seen to it. Like every web page I go to go look to see, I wanted to see the vibe. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's great about it. Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, everybody's cool. Instagram, everybody. Nothing. I mean, there's negatives in there. Don't get me wrong. And it was kind of like where I think most of us kind of felt like it was flat. But for the overwhelming majority that I've seen, it's super positive. So that part of me gets upset because I'm like, damn, am I overthinking this to the point? Again, I've talked about it before. When we're on this show, we do a lot of thinking. I mean, don't get me wrong. We do it on our own anyway, or within a group.
Sure.
The show is a little more serious.
And we're talking about Bad Batch finale. If anybody we're talking about that.
I don't know, man.
No, you're right.
I just wish I was in that boat, and that upsets me. So when we do this, it has me thinking about shit. I don't want to rain on anybody else's parade either. Because when we talk through this, it's going to almost feel like we are. But just know that we're not Star Wars haters. We're Star Wars love. We have nothing but love. Yeah. But the problem is, again, universe. Most of our argument's going to be universe building and what happened and what fell flat, and that's going to be it. So go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And I was just going to say, for me personally, I enjoyed it as a whole. The season, I enjoyed it. This finale, I enjoyed it, but it did not wrap up the things that it was set up to wrap up. It's like I feel like we got a story of a family again, and it just all revolved around the family, and there was nothing else in the galaxy that was taken care of. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So
hey, what was the word you used in pre-show that you thought it was just? Yeah, you.
I'm sick, man. I don't remember.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, damn. He said it was fine, right?
It was fine. And there we go.
Now, when you hear your wife say fine, do you think everything is fine?
No.
Hell no, right? If I hear fine, hey, I'll do that later. Fine. Okay, I'll do it now. I mean, I know what the word fine means. And when you said fine, I took it the same way. I heard that same tone. It's fine.
I'm gonna bring up Captain Jack's comment here. And welcome, Captain Jack. All right. This is what he says, and then I'll kind of go off on this. He says, I get what you're saying, but not everything has to be so interconnected. This is an entire galaxy. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to have them come back most of the time when someone sees somebody. And I understand that, but like I said, what I said in the beginning was that we don't make things up. We kind of discuss things that are kind of presented to us in, like I said, a character's name or a place or whatever, and we kind of talk our way around this bigger galaxy. Now, on the surface of what the Bad Batch did as a series, that's where I think where we get into trouble on our expectations, because we're looking at like, all right, now what does Bad Batch offer? And Captain Jack, it could be just a fun ride. It really could. And that's probably what it is. And a lot of those positive comments and those positive commentary on this finale or just Bad Batch in general are that like they love the Clone Wars, is a continuation of it, and of course we look at what are things being set up or being talked about in the future.
We didn't connect them, they did.
Yeah,
Necromancer is a direct connection from here to the Mandalorian and Ahsoka. That's a direct connection. We didn't do that.
Like I said, we're not making this up.
It's a direct connection to Quinlan Voss, who's a direct connection to the path in Kenobi.
Right?
Which are young children being first running around. It's all connected.
And to Captain Jack's point, though, I understand what he's saying, because one of the things that drove me crazy about the prequels was how everything was so connected to this to the original trilogy. It made that large galaxy seems so very much smaller, like you just said. So I get that. But to Chris's point, what he was just saying, that's exactly it, right? All of those, it's like I said at the beginning, all the alley-oops were there. They were going for the slam, but they missed the ball every time. And
I mean, there are several, and I think Chris has probably all written down, but there are several like this season in general. There was like, I mean, bold, capitalized, like this is a plot point. This is a plot. I mean, there's several of them. And 51 minutes of this finale, I thought like 51 minutes. Okay, like last week, I'm like, there's no time to get into it. I'm like, all right, 51, they could do a lot. And it's not necessary that we have to have it all spelled out. It has to, like I said, connect in a way that they brought it up and maybe propel
set
it
up for something else.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was a couple check marks in the air, Tarkin being one of them, and Hemlock's demise and stuff. There was things like that, like the cavalry, there were things, but they were
the cavalry.
Yeah. So there were things that we kind of went into it, and I think for like the most part, again, looking at an overall series is what it's supposed to do versus how we talk about it. There's two different things. Resistance to me, like I'm just using that as an example. All right,
exactly.
Welcome, Ernie the Fallen Fed.
Ernie.
What's up, man?
Hi.
We're into
on 500.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's gonna go until 1500 or so.
Yeah. It's a push. It's a push.
Let's do 25.
All right,
go higher.
Let's go.
We're talking Bad Batch, Ernie, so just try to get it because we've made some points on like where the show was expecting to go versus where it went, but the breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs that they led us to believe something else was happening, and I think that was kind of a letdown. The majority here, I don't know what your take is on the Bad Batch, and I don't know what the Pit's take is as far as like this. Because it's done. It's a finale.
Right. And like overwhelmingly online, it's a very positive vibe. Very positive vibe on it. But we feel that there were so far, Scott really enjoyed it, but there were breadcrumbs or alley-oops all over the place that they led to that just didn't feel like they
and we will go down the list.
And we're going to go through them. We're just kind of setting up
about it.
Show.
Yeah.
What was your vibe on it, Ernie? What was your thought on the show?
It's Star Wars, man. It's cool. I like the story, but personally on stuff, I didn't get stuff answered. And I thought we were going to get the Rogue One of everybody dying.
Oh, for sure, dude. Anybody dying.
I did.
Yeah. Anybody. Besides Scorch.
Can you stop teasing Wrecker? Like, for how many times in 3 years have we dealt with Wrecker?
I thought for sure. I was like, oh, man, this is going to suck. And
only so many times you could grab a vibroblade or whatever the hell, electro staff.
I thought he was just going out Blaze of Glory style, man.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. We saw death. Like, okay, so it's not like it couldn't happen.
Yeah,
right.
And the stuff, the action scenes were cool. Right. The stuff that was showed, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was cool. But after, as you sit there and think about stuff, like, oh, what about this?
Right.
Okay, what about that?
It was Michael Bay cool, right? It like looked cool.
Yeah.
Like it was. Oh, that was neat. That was cool. Boom.
It took us for a twist, and I'm sorry. I thought we were getting death, not in that way, but kind of like, well, did you expect, from the story that we know?
That's the story we know, and again, the actors playing us up, and that's the problem. It's bittersweet to them because they're done with their job. That wasn't bittersweet at all. It was just sweet at the end. What was the bittersweet? She's 30-something years old at that effing point. What's bittersweet? Get out the house and go do something.
I didn't see any bittersweet.
Not
that's the whole thing.
I wasn't ready to cry. I'm like, get out. Join the rebellion. Luke left at 19. Get out.
Let's see. She was 10 years old in the Bad Batch, so that's 15 years later, approximately. She's only about 25.
I thought we decided she was 14.
Oh, did we? I missed. Again,
she was 10 in Attack of the Clones, right? She's the same age as
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Oh,
Boba.
Yeah.
So she's like pushing 30, dude.
Okay.
Pushing.
Okay.
And then she goes to help. I just saw another series coming.
Well, we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, Andor too, dude. There's our live action Omega, which would be rad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, stop. I'm sorry. You're right. I can
see. Okay,
right,
but here's the thing, though.
That would be awesome.
Okay, it would be. Yeah, because in Andor, you're gonna be a big miss when she's not in it, right? So,
right.
I enjoyed it, and I'll have to admit, I still laughed at. We got a lot of stupid jokes this one?
Yeah, I
this
did
season
laugh.
that
And,
we
yeah,
laughed?
of course. Yeah,
So
man.
I kept laughing at that's Omega. Omega's been here.
Omega, yeah. That was,
yeah. Of all the holes in the Zillow piece and like that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. You know what? Okay.
And the heartfelt moment was the Crosshair not listening to Hunter. He's all, I'll go get her. You stay back. He's all, that's not happening. You know, I mean, it's, oh, hell yeah, Crosshair. Crosshair was the coolest character in this.
No, I agree.
Thing.
But it was like, but again, it was all these things that went, I mean, basically nowhere in general. I'm gonna bring this up, and we're gonna go through this, you know. And of course, I might hit some stuff on your list, Chris. But I
hope you guys all do. I'll just catch the missing.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we start talking in depth about the Bad Batch, let's introduce our timeline.
Yeah. So where are we, Scott, in the timeline?
All right. We discussed this last week, I believe. I said we were going to create a timeline, and every time we were going to start talking about a show, we were going to show where we are in the timeline. So here we go. This is our Star Wars timeline right here, right? So we start at A New Hope. That's the Battle of Yavin, and we are going to we're going to go to the Bad Batch, 18 to 15 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
So every time we have a new show debut or whatever, that'll pop up and help out every viewer.
And Bad Batch ends probably, like we were talking in chat, probably 5 years. Like that time jump was probably like 5 years.
No, that time jump was 5 years before. Yeah.
Before Battle of Yavin. So
yep.
Andor Rebels time frame where Omega is that age and everything. All right. This is. I was trying to find a good analogy around this stuff, and I know Gordon said this too about feeling Star Wars, and Ernie said this about feeling Star Wars too. But it's what I felt like what the Bad Batch does, or what did to me personally, was like, and I'll take this back to Luke Skywalker. If we see Luke Skywalker starting to use the Force, right, and you see him throwing a lightsaber, and he's being told you got to face Darth Vader and everything, and he's training as a Jedi and all these things, and then he faces Darth Vader and shoots him with the blaster and kills Darth Vader with the blaster using nothing. That's how I felt go with the Bad Batch. It's like all this stuff, and then what they did was very anticlimactic. You know what I mean? It was like,
somebody here said
we're gonna get a shuttle. We're free. Like, whoa, you could have done that the whole time. You know, It was and again, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's almost like you're this big build up, and then they shoot Darth Vader with a blaster, with the guy that was training with the Force the whole time. And we'll get into certain things about Omega and not using the Force and never visiting that again. With the whole Asajj episode meaning nothing, it meant nothing, and unless it's something that they're planning in the future. But
that was a lame way to do it.
Exactly, man. But did you guys get the tech? All right, let's talk about tech about this episode. I don't know if come on, they teased tech so much in this episode when those
they did they played up on people.
They did.
Well, you think about all those clones that they were like the special clone with the whips and just amazing, like, oh my god, this is awesome, right?
Almost gave it a Knights of Ren vibe.
Yeah,
but
different weapons, different gear, right?
Or Inquisitors. Really cool. It was such a weird thing, a weird setup, right?
It was a weird setup, and I don't believe that's Project Necromancer. That was in that facility that they were in. It was the rehabilitation for clones or whatever.
Well, were they all clones? Because there's one of them that's a freaking unit.
Dude,
like that's not a clone. Wreckers 99. That they're different, right? They
don't. Yeah.
They're the only ones like that. That dude was 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I felt like it was a new version of the Bad Batch, like what those guys were, they were creating. We almost had mirrored copies, like we had a Wrecker, we had a Tech or whatever. But that one
I saw it as the shadowed glass version.
Yeah, like a shadow, right? And then
I didn't even think about that.
That one dude, I don't know what we're calling him, but it was the one that dropped the helmet and had the Tech goggles with the red. And then he picks up the helmet, puts it on, and runs away in the shadow. That was just like, what was that? Why show it? Why even show that dude escaped? Why show it that as a Tech helmet? Very specific way. And then I was sitting there going, okay, is this going to come to play? Is he going to follow them on the planet? And then nothing. And we get the time jump, and it's like, whoa, all right, well, that's
didn't they kill the one that looked like Tech?
No, well, his helmet fell.
He put it back on. He ran there. They got him. He came behind and they got him.
No, that was somebody else.
No, he's the one with the regular.
No, that dude died. I'm talking there in the shadows. The tech they focused on Tech's helmet. I'm just saying Tech's helmet.
Yeah.
And then someone picked it up, put it on the shadows, and ran off before everything exploded. Because that's when Wrecker or something, and I don't know, dude. Like I go, oh, that was a huge tease that I don't know what was that for. I really don't. So a shadowed clone 99 badge that was like a mirror. I don't know, man.
It was lame. And actually, part of this list was we've been teased with that stupid red room, right? Thinking that's
my problem with it,
and it was them.
Yeah. No, I had no problem with those assassins. I thought they were super cool. I thought that was great. I like the fact that they weren't all just carbon copies of the same assassin that we've seen. That was really cool. I like that. But the fact that the Emperor was standing in that room talking about Project Necromancer, and I'm sitting here buckling up. I'm like, oh, here we go. And it was them. I'm like, here we go again. This is another one of those.
I was hoping it wasn't, and I wanted to talk about this. Like, I was hoping that it wasn't, that Necromancer was a part of this grand scheme, what the Omega part of it was. And that was something Hemlock's pet project. That's what I was trying to get my head around.
Why would the Emperor give a damn about those assassins? I mean,
well,
if he's standing in there saying
Tantus is the overall everything, right? So, it's almost like, Hemlock
you just touched another gripe too, by the way. Where was we mentioned Palpatine but didn't see him again. It's like there's a point where this is the most important thing to him, and we know it is. Why isn't he should be more involved? Not Tarkin just sniffing around. I like Tarkin being around. Don't get me wrong, but Palpatine should have had another presence. If he's going to be in the beginning talking about it, at the end when he's falling to shit, he should be on his throat.
What did I say last week? Yeah, what did I say last week? Tarkin's going to come in and try to take over, either take over Tantus or whatever. But
I don't know how that worked because I checked his rank and he was Grand Moff right there too. I had to I paused it and looked at it. I'm all that's really early to be Moffed or Grand Moffed.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Like what his power is on the hierarchy of the Empire.
He's up. He's number 2 right now.
Yeah, but he pulled funds for Project Stardust, which it is the Death Star from Rogue One. So then you go watch Rogue One and it all makes they got that tie in really fast. They can drop that. Yeah. But all this other stuff that they drop, they won't even touch that. Like, again, like I'm not going to drop this Necromancer theme because it's brought up in Mandalorian, right? Mm-hmm. And again,
that's what made this series really watchable.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're on Mount Tantus talking about the cloning of the Emperor, right? How is that not got me on the edge of my seat? And we end like that?
Yeah. And it's like, boom, time jump, boom. And like, whoa. I just
LSA's like, nah. Oh, what? Starting over.
I thought that was epic though. That was epic.
And that actually does
telegraphed a mile away, but
they're still dealing with it in the Mandalorian, right? They haven't figured it out yet. It completely they had the key right there and they blew it up. So that's why Grogu is important. So that's cool. And that is not spelled out, but it's there. That part's important. I'll give it
So then I look at it like a rinse and a repeat. It didn't work here. We're gonna try it in Mandalorian. It's not gonna work there. It's gonna go.
Well, they know they had it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's mad because they had it, so they need to get all these other doctors.
But don't you think a little bit of the dialogue would take us to kind of something where it was tell us not pussyfoot around the thing.
I had cannoned the shit out of that, and I'm comfortable with it, so I don't know.
Well, that's the problem though. We head canon before everything, and
then they'll take it away.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be, what? My head canon was way better because I made it make sense.
Yeah,
and they're never going to do that. So
so Captain Jack. So what if he's saying what if Grogu was a Force sensitive clone? We went in depth with this with Grogu a long time, and it was the whole. It was the.
I'm still not out of it.
Yeah, well, like I said, the Heir of the Empire or the Thrawn trilogy is we're still trying to weave this into the in between the Ahsoka series and the Mandalorian.
Again, is their fault for saying Thrawn is the heir to the Empire. I mean, you give that to us, and we expect some kind of right.
They literally said the movie was going to be called Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're there, right?
Yeah.
And then you bring in Mount Tantus.
Yeah, and here's the problem,
which it could still be later, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the problem though. It's like they brought it up in Mandalorian with the Shadow Council with Moff Gideon. To bring it up here, it did actually. You could take it out completely and have zero impact on what we just watched. Like
except
it didn't
for getting us excited. Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's these drops, and we'll get into Asajj. Well, it's these drops that make us go like, hey, you gave us these breadcrumbs. Now we're trying to put 2 and 2 together, and you didn't do. It's not going anywhere that you're doing. So I don't understand sometimes like why this was wrapped up the way it was wrapped up, and if, like what Ernie said, to propel another series. Okay, but now how much more we're gonna draw this out just to get what? Because this time frame is not. We know what is going on in this time frame. You know what I mean? That was just a little bit like I don't know, man. Why bring it up in the first place if you're not going to give us more to take to the Ahsoka series or take to that stuff? Because we learned nothing. We learned nothing about Omega's fate, about M count. We learned nothing about her ability to use ability or
she
no ability.
Moving rocks.
It wasn't moving rocks.
And just like I said, she is not force sensitive. It is just something in her blood can accept the transfer of midichlorians. That's all there is to it. She's not force sensitive. And
yeah, but then you go back to the Asajj episode, and then Hunter calling Asajj out saying, "You are you lying?" And she's like, "Maybe I am, maybe I'm not." But it's for her own protection, because if she found out, she would pursue it. The Empire would hunt her down. Why even have that episode in the first place? And why bring that up? Man. That's my issue.
Testing her to the force.
Like it wasn't a black and white answer.
Whenever every Naboo starfighter apparently has the blood test machine, and
well,
they make her stand on 1 foot on a rock, and I'm like, how does this test anybody for the force?
I don't know. I felt like it was like we have these examples of what Star Wars is, and then we're going to use a very small, but we're never going to circle back or even project something that of a plot point. It was this whole series was somebody getting captured, somebody getting rescued, somebody getting captured, some getting rescued.
Where was that one? Point number 3.
Number 3.
The mid-season climax, Escape Mount Tantus. Series finale, Escape Mount Tantus.
Yeah, exactly. And then
have I used one yet?
Namaste.
Right off. You know, with that Mount Tantus shit. Oh, sorry.
Namaste said it. She said, "Why'd you come back?"
Yeah, why'd you come back?
Why are we doing this again?
It wasn't a thank you or a hi. Oh my god! It was.
Yeah.
Why'd you come back?
I mean,
these damn clones, right? What's your angle? All of them, from Omega to Boba.
Omega escaped with Echo. They put the kids on the shuttle. Omega and Echo went back to Mantantis to rescue Hunter, Crosshair, and Rector. That got captured. Who did?
The doctor chick.
The doctor. So the doctor took off with the kids, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the
and
final.
You know what? I made an appointment for me and Joey to go get contacts, so we don't have to wear glasses no more. Because wow, what a difference that makes. She's a hottie at the end. What happened to like? All she did was take off those glasses, and she did the Wonder Woman change. I was like, "Who is that?"
And then her clone sister later looks nothing like her,
or sounds nothing like her.
Yeah.
That's point number 14.
But
point number 14.
That was a pretty funny change, dude. It really was the take off the glasses and you're a whole different person.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
But she did have a good story.
I'm sorry. Though. Superman and Clark Kent. Nobody can tell them apart.
Right, exactly. And nobody.
I knew the whole time. You didn't.
She was Yeah.
I had my theories because they presented it to us. Like,
That was one story that got played out though that I thought was funny because we're talking about this stuff that didn't play out, but they totally played out her little side story.
Yes.
We got the answer of why. What are you doing? What is she going to end up doing? Oh, she got saved. She got the kids off. Like everything. Like, oh, okay, that was a closed one.
They wrapped up the batch.
Getting close.
They wrapped up the batch themselves.
Yeah.
And which I guess when you think about it, which makes me mad, right? Because people accept that. And that does not make me mad about them. It makes me mad that I can't just do that. Where I'm like, no, I know where Omega's going now at 30 years old. After she hung out another 15 years. I know where Hunter is. I know Wrecker and Crosshair are living happily on not Mount Tantus in the water. Right? I know this is all happening. So they're all closed. That's fine for that set. I guess that's okay. But there was so much bigger galaxy
so much bigger stuff.
Bigger galaxy stuff that drove me nuts. And that's
like I said,
that's probably that's more us.
Well, like I said, I think the positivity around it was the Bad Batch themselves, the Clone Wars era, what they did as far as themselves, right? And we always look like, okay, yeah, I mean, we just had 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. This is an extension of it. Yeah, we had some cool stuff that, the stormtroopers and all that, the Empire growing and no more oppression. But at the same time, I wasn't really personally invested into the Bad Batch themselves. They had a cool story and cool arcs, but I was, like I said, like what we talked ourselves into.
Crosshair.
And again, not the fault of us, not the fault of our collective. It was, this is what happened. It was, we saw it. We watched the same thing. And again, the Asajj episode was a key thing to make us go like, I know where this is going, or I know where this could be going. And
they told us this isn't the end. You've got more, which means another series, because it's not going to, unless it's in Tales of the Empire.
And Necromancer and Tantus. I know what the purpose of this series is, and it both of them did not play out. So if you took that out of the equation, nothing changes. That's the whole problem, right?
Yeah,
it's just a fun ride with the Bad Batch because,
I got taken because I thought we were going to get the answer to Necromancer.
I thought so.
Exactly.
When he said, "Tell me." And I was like, "Oh, grab the popcorn! Here we go!"
You're
and
right.
then
That part knows.
Namaste, and somehow the Emperor returned.
Yeah, to know that she spilled the entire stuff, right? Like just told him everything, and he's like, "Wow!"
And then
like,
dies. But that's the
Really?
thing, and then kills him, and then so that it'll never get out now. Like that would be different if Rampart survived and then he went to like, I don't know, had a change of heart or whatever it was, and then he got captured by Rex or whoever. So now the secret is there, or the plan is there,
but then they would not know the good guys can never know Necromancer ever.
Yeah,
because then it wouldn't be somehow.
But that's that's putting yourselves into a corner. 100%.
No, it doesn't look well for Carson Teva. I mean, if he's on the trail, doesn't bode well for him.
Find out, so he won't find out. Yeah.
And I do want to make a point too. Like, okay, we get, we're making ourselves worked up or whatever, but that's because we have passion about it. Okay, I don't want to again. Do not mistake passion for anger. As far as like, that's it. I'm done.
Oh yeah, this isn't a Disney bash. This isn't anything. This is a plot bash.
This is something where it's like we're trying to figure out Star Wars, and we're only working with the information given to us. You know what I mean?
We're taking this show for kids and making it really complex.
Yeah.
And that's what we do, and we enjoy it. So
what else we got going on, dude?
Like, right now.
Serious.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just, like I said, don't want it to feel like, like I said, I think Bad Batch was a fun ride. It was cool.
This was the best season.
This was the best season out of them all. I figure if I just got this season, I'd be cool. You know what I mean? It just you do like time jumps.
You'd need the you take certain episodes from certain seasons.
Yeah,
from all the seasons.
Make an extended
Have the fall of Camino.
Where's the Snyder cut of Bad Batch? The entire 30 episodes, 40 episodes, whatever it is.
So what I did like, and I guess this is part of what wrapped up Lucas's part, was the Kaminoan talk. She said, "This will never belong to the Empire. This technology is Kaminoan."
Right.
And he's like, "Not anymore. Blast. Then it blows up." Now you think, "Oh wait, that son of a bitch blew up Kamino." Right. So it was all gone there. This was the last of any kind of Kamino technology.
God, you're right.
She was the last of it. So it's all gone. So that's when they're starting from scratch. So that's pretty neat. So there's a closure there with that. That might be the Lucas thing they're talking about. I'm thinking Zillow, Beast, and Cody and all this stuff. Maybe that was the piece there.
Could be, right? That could be.
God, I didn't even think about that.
That was a good play for her too.
Yeah.
He destroyed their place and she got to do
right
back. Yeah.
I thought it was cool as a thermal detonator. That was awesome.
Yeah. And I didn't want a redemption for Rampart. We got it with Agent Callus, right? We had an Agent Callus whole thing when we did with Rebels. I didn't want a Rampart.
I like straight evil.
He was
he was Imperial. He was Imperial to the end.
Yeah.
So,
Backstabbing. I want to backstab Hemlock. I got information.
Which was to again the whole. Go ahead, Scott.
The freaking Hemlock, man, with the hand. What the hell? What was going on with this hand?
Don't know.
And they keep cutting off people's hands too. It's like
that was brutal, right?
Star Wars thing.
Yeah. That was brutal though. They got Crosshair and just a whack.
Hey, fixed his shot.
Yeah, somebody in chat said, yeah, exactly. Said they like how they wrapped up Crosshairs.
I didn't like how they wrapped up.
Didn't Douglas Tupper.
Yeah, just cut it off.
didn't like how they fixed Crosshair.
Yeah. Go left-handed.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, guys. We have to address this thing. We have this theory fight, the Fallen Fett, saying maybe it's less Order 66 still, like he's fighting it. Well, that's too cool. And someone in the back of the room just says, "We'll just chop off his hand. No more shaky. It's done. Boom.
No more shaky.
Yeah,
All good.
breaky, shaky.
Yeah, I mean, like how weak was that?
Super weak.
I like the fact that they were taken, and I mean those I don't know what they're called, the secret super trooper Revanite
clone commandos.
Clone commandos.
Was that what it was?
That's what it said on the thing, which is funny because
or-
they have commandos in there already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So, and I love the fact that they were all different and all that stuff.
Speaking of clone commandos, Scorch's death sucked.
I was just gonna say that Scorch died. Scorch was such a build-up for us forever.
So,
It was just weak. It wasn't a big fight. Like he and Hunter or he and Wrecker should have went toe to toe for a minute, right?
Yeah,
he
that would have
got
been cool.
like a one-on-one battle, no throwdown. I like to see a clone just drop it. And
blast.
Yeah, no, let's get down and get at it and try to throw each other off the bridge. Something cool.
Sorry, Michael.
Not from 50 yards away.
Scorch is one. Michael loves the commandos. Sorry, no spoilers, but yeah, no more Scorch.
Dumbass.
Man, but yeah, that again, there were some cool things that I thought like, hey, these guys would have been cool 14 episodes ago. You know what I mean? Like unleash all of those dudes, and now you have this like Knights of Ren type clones, you
commandos.
Saw
them for a minute, then they got their asses kicked.
Yeah, and it was just again, it was like introduced just to beat down. And again, that tech thing, I don't understand that if it was him in general, or if it was just a carbon copy, like Ernie said, a shadowy another Clone 99, or
Clones of the Clone Force 99.
Clone Force 99. Like
it seemed like
it seemed like it because you had the big dude, you got to so.
The shattered glass version in Transformers, you had like Decepticons that were Autobots, and they were
The roles were
but,
reversed. Good guys, bad
yeah,
guys.
exactly, and that's what it looked
Bizarro
like there. Yeah, exactly.
And
but
honestly,
I feel like you guys were saying that seemed like an Emperor thing right there, and I felt like that was a secret pet project to him.
Me too. And I was just going to say, I refuse to think that was Project Necromancer. It makes no sense.
No, it's not. There's no way it was.
Okay.
No.
Right. I thought that was a Hemlock personal project.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were just mad that Emperor was in that room talking about good job and made us think it was Necromancer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a bunch of clones of Palpatine in there, or Snoke looking things, or something.
There should have been.
Clowns.
Who I don't remember who said it in the episode. Somebody said it in the episode of how many different levels there are in that secret base of what's going on.
Right.
So I believe Necromancer was going on, and obviously Namaste told him everything, and it is something very valid because he was so excited of, this is going to bring me back. Like this is going to give me anything I want. Like
Rampart
it was
like,
that high up of information.
Rampart's like, I got Hemlock's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of levels that they were taking them all out. Only she destroyed the level. She destroyed the room that they needed. Everything else is still there, and then the Zillow took care of a little bit of the other one. But there's two mountains.
Yeah,
we're still dealing with that.
The other one's just the quarters. It's just their dorm.
They all just live in that mountain.
Yeah. The Zillow Beast. We called it last week. I think Chris said that the Zillow Beast is just gonna rule Tantus. He's out and free on Tantus. Okay, you know what I mean? I'm like,
But why? That's all I want to know. Are they just making an army of Zillow Beast, or did he want the armor? Just say why they did it.
They made a huge deal about the armor in the Clone Wars, like the armor and
right.
That's I feel like, what did we just do?
It definitely wasn't to help enforce the stormtrooper armor. We know that for a fact.
No, and then why sit there and shoot at it if you know it's not going to affect it?
That's all you're doing.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen something in this play on it, right? That's what the armor was used for.
Yeah,
but like Scott said, there was nothing shown in this one to say of any type of trooper, or even I thought we were going to see it on the ones that he made.
Right. Yeah.
I did. I thought we were going to see it on them. Like, but we didn't see anything.
That would have been cool to hear. Is that Zillow skin? Or somebody figure it out. Like, the hell is that?
Or drop us a project blanky blank. project whatever that will come to play later, just like Stardust or Darksaber. Like when we were going through in Rogue One, going through all the lists, and some of those meant things, right? So, not just Stardust. So, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would have been cool,
right?
Knocked one of those names out and threw it in there.
Yeah.
Like just something that would have been cool. Again, if you're gonna take things from this and project or propel another series again, because when we talk about the time jump and what Omega is gonna do and stuff, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Like,
you know what? You know what? Just you saying that about Rogue One made me think as they're going through all the projects that are in that vault, right?
Yeah.
If they would have said Project Necromancer in that as they were going through the list, and we got to the somehow Palpatine returned, it would have been like, oh, wait, was that Project Necromancer? You know?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Like if when Rey touched the saber in The Force Awakens, if you would have heard the Emperor cackle, would that have helped that along, right?
So it's almost like, okay, they're not doing that. They're not going to give us a special edition with that. They're not mentioning Necromancer as far as like the somehow. That means they're eliminating 7, 8, 9. We're starting all over. Out of sight, out of mind. If they're not going to reinforce it, delete it. No, I know that's never going to happen. I know it. I know, but they're not doing anything to help it either. I'm not going to say that. They're not doing anything what we just saw. Right. They are doing things to help it. Mandalorian, Ahsoka. They are. I'm not, I'll take that back. But
they're not committing. And you got to think at that
they're not
point,
committing. That's a hard thing for me to accept.
At the end of the Bad Batch, though, we are still 35 years before Rise of Skywalker and The Force Awakens and all that. So there's still a lot of time for them to develop what
we
Project
see
Necromancer
it. We've seen it with Gideon. Hemlock's like the cartoon version of Gideon at this point. It was like Gideon used, let's say, Project Necromancer for his own personal ambitions, and he was trying to tell the Shadow Council, "Where's Thrawn? I don't see him, but I'm going to do my own thing, a Shadow Empire." And so we saw his demise. We saw Hemlock kind of,
looking for power, not overtaking. Overall
again,
power, but.
Right. Like, I think there was more going on to Hemlock's mind. Like, I'm going to do this thing for the Emperor, of course, because they kept saying Necromancer is the most important thing for the Empire's continuation, or it's the most important thing that we need to do.
He was career-oriented. He's career and power-oriented. That's what he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily ruling-oriented or anything like that. No big aspirations, but aspirations in power, glory.
Yeah. He didn't want to rule. He just wanted to
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I can see that. I see that he wanted to be, once he got all this, he'd be hobnobbing with the rich people. That's how I see
notoriety.
That
guy, notoriety. Yeah. He wanted to be Tarkin, is really the inside man, the right hand man of the Emperor.
Yeah,
and
you don't
kind of got it a little bit.
Anything unless you want that.
Yeah. I understand. Again, I understand. Like, the Bad Batch is not consumed by the masses. It is consumed by a lot of Star Wars fans and the very deep, concentrated Star Wars fans. So you're not going to have groundbreaking stuff, but they did introduce groundbreaking stuff into it that could have really
chance to have.
Yeah, because it could have been like, okay, you watch that and then you watch Kenobi going like, man, and then let's just say, for the sake of argument, at the end, this flash forward, which I was like, damn, that's an older Omega. Hunter's got gray hair, so you knew they settled on that planet, and she was going off to join the rebellion because the rebellion needs her.
Dude, did you just? I mean, immediately, did all of you just stop and start figuring it out? And like the rebellion.
Yeah, well, the rebellion needs them all.
What are you talking about?
And that's why. Yeah, I was like, guys, when was the rebellion officially the rebellion? Like.
After seeing the beginning of in Andor, beginning
and Rebels, remember, there were still factions.
Yeah,
they were still
rebel cells. They weren't. They were not a rebel alliance yet.
Right.
They were not a rebel alliance until Rogue One. It was Rogue One was the beginning, the formation.
We saw the first. I don't know if it was the first. Yeah, I don't know if it was the first meeting, but we saw them together as a structure, as a hierarchy.
God, that could be within the trilogy. That
wow,
more now than ever. They just won their first battle at the Death Star. She wouldn't know that's this. We went 19 years. We went 16 full ass years. We're not in Rebels.
No, the Alliance could go all the way to Return of the Jedi. Like,
they're in a New Hope Empire between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. And
Wow.
okay, so
and that's the first time she leaves home. So yeah, seriously, get the hell out.
It's because her force abilities have matured.
We're trying to keep you safe. I'm 35 years old. We just want to keep you safe.
I'm a peacock. I gotta fly.
And then,
don't fly.
and there was a point, somebody asked in here, how? Okay,
Yeah.
Hunter was there in the beginning, but we watched her relationship with everybody change. She was close with Tech, close with Wrecker. Boom, boom, boom. How the hell do you not say this is worse than the Chewie hug? Right?
Oh,
not saying goodbye to Wrecker and Crosshair, the two that were probably, I think, closer to her, and especially at the end, Crosshair.
Well, she got the hug. She ran to Crosshair's arms first,
which was cool. Yeah, which was weird. They really made a point of that. Instead of her just grabbing both, she went
she
right
like
to
stopped.
Crosshair.
She paused, looked at both of them, and then ran to Crosshair. And they're like, "Come on, Hunter!" You know, like
yeah.
I saw that kind of as a we did it. Their arc went together, right? She saved him.
Right.
He said, "I had to save her." Do you get what I'm saying? And now,
or like now you're
everybody.
You stayed
one
back
of us
to
again.
save me.
You're one of us again too, right? Because he fought that too.
Yeah,
I'm a loner. I'm damaged.
That's how I saw that, because she just loved Wrecker,
all
and
right,
then she got that one.
Yeah.
And I think that was close to that one. But then I did feel weird. You can tell she's very much older, and you see him sitting there, and I immediately went to, okay, so we're at he's the last survivor. They're gonna say something.
That could be too. I thought because we didn't see Wrecker.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought. And then when he says, "I'll tell them you left," I was like,
right.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a statue of Wrecker in the courtyard, like a statue. Because when they said, "All right, let's get out of here," we saw a shuttle leave. We just assumed Echo and Wrecker got off, and it was just like, okay, boom, jump cut, and they all escaped. So when we got back to the planet, right, and I was expecting to see, like I said, a statue resurrect versus them sitting there in the courtyard. Like that would have been, he died of his wounds, you know. I don't know. Like I said, where's the bittersweet? Where's the bittersweet? Like anybody. Why say it then?
You just said goodbye. Bittersweet because you didn't say goodbye to Wrecker and Crosshair. It's just, that's not even bittersweet. That's just jacked up.
Because she left them. You know, it's like, what else she's gonna do? You know,
I'm gonna run away and join the rebellion. He's not even stopping you.
Yeah.
Why are you running away?
Yeah, why are you sneaking off? Just say
goodbye. They're your family. For the last 19 years you've been on that damn island with them. It's time. Why are you sneaking off? That's dumb. That wasn't even on my list.
So number 12.
Sneaking away at 15. Sneaking off is dumb.
We're talking about the list. Have you hit everything on the list? I'm really curious as to the point by point list issues here.
You're pretty close. Cody, what's up with the Saj?
What's up with the Saj?
The 2 escape bullshit. No necromancer field. Tannis is in shambles and Shudder. What the hell? Nobody died. Nobody died. What's the bittersweet with tears bullshit?
Nobody important. I said, no
this is as bad as all thriller, no filler. Let's see. Oh, all episode acted like Wrecker was toast and he wasn't. Zillow. Why the hell they have it? And the other mountain. No more palps at the end. / any sign of Vader in this? I mean, does Vader exist yet? Tarkin's pretty early on Stardust and his rank. Honestly, I mean, he's part of Stardust, but talking about, I don't know, man. I feel like he took charge of that a lot later to be throwing funds at it. I don't know. It just felt like really early for a lot of stuff. Let's see. The special agents. We didn't get an answer on that. WTF? How long is this time jump?
Yeah, how long is the time? You're right about the.
I put Cody in there twice. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Echo can just walk into the vault. Did you see anybody with her? I don't care if he's with her, right?
Oh, Echo.
You're walking by the commandos, the head of security, into the most secure place in Mount Tantus,
knowing there's a breach,
with a normie, with a reg, right? Why is this reg coming in here? Well, nobody's going to check him. Everybody's going to let the doctor walk in. What are you going to be holding her hostage with on red alert? Come on, you're in a military base with commandos.
Yeah,
okay, that was another one.
I thought about that too.
This week, sneaking off is dumb was a new one. There's one in here, chicken scratch. I can't even read what the fuck I wrote. Sorry, I like 4 now. How did they get the kids so fast to say? How did they get to them so quick? Okay,
it was a jump cut, dude. It was like boom, they're there.
The quick scene with Tech and or Echo and Emery, right? Hey, we can get to the science room. And then they're about to get shot, and boom,
there they are.
Here's Echo shooting them. That was like immediate. You have to have a scene in between those two.
There, yeah, I
Oh,
felt
that's
like there was
ridiculous.
there was about a 70-minute episode, and they cut
Yeah.
because again it was like
Didn't he ask? Don't you know a shortcut? That was the real.
Yes, he did.
you did.
Did he
Yeah.
say-
Damn it.
But it was jarring to have it be connected, right? Like in Star
Yeah.
Wars,
Right,
you go
yeah.
event to event, back to the other event, back to you jump events, right?
Right.
That went event, jump cut to the same event.
Yeah.
And that was
but I'm
weird.
saying in their head, they're like, well, he says it. Shortcut. There it is.
You're
yeah,
right.
it was awkward. It was
The
awkward.
I'm going back to the Tarkin thing that you said because
Yes.
now that there's a continuity issue because and correct me if I'm wrong, but in Rogue One, Tarkin he knew about Project Stardust, but he didn't have faith in it. He didn't go all eggs in this basket. He waited till it was operational and functional.
Right.
And that test on Jeddah City was
Yep.
when Tarkin basically said, "I'm taking all this credit."
Yeah.
And
he talked about it years ago. He even said it in Rogue One. He's like, "Oh, I'll take credit for this project I talked about many years ago." Blah blah blah.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Because he was there in Episode 3 with Palpatine
Yeah.
and Vader. He's been there since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But for him to
Krennic.
do all this,
Yeah.
Krennic as well, too.
Wasn't it his? But then he gave it to Krennic, or he was in charge, but let Krennic.
I need to
run
read
it, and then-
Catalyst again.
I don't
The way it
believe
is-
Tarkin was
Did it-
involved in Catalyst at all myself.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember.
He was. I'm trying to think of how it really worked, though. Krennic was in charge. No, Tarkin was in charge of the region
Yeah.
that the Death Star was there. So that means the Death Star was under his control.
Right.
But Krennic is the director on the ship, on the Death Star, right? So he's in charge of the project. Tarkin's kind of the man right above.
Yeah.
Maybe almost a lateral, but red lining to him.
Yeah.
You know, so there's still a little bit of competition between the two, even though
Yeah. And you know that in
Yeah.
Rogue One, Tarkin was very skeptical about the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yes.
He was just like, basically, show me. And then,
Yeah.
all right. Then that's what he
Tarkin's smart
became
enough
like
to keep
a
his distance
believer.
so shit works.
Yeah. He became a believer. So, like, when he comes in and says, all these funds are now mine, and we're going to go, just cut everything off of Tantis, off of
Yeah.
Necromancer, and onto Stardust. I felt that was going over the Emperor's helmet. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like that was a complete power move in the military empire, right? It's
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the
interesting.
things we could just whatever. Like you said, the escape, the echo, those are things we can.
There was a lot of nitpicking in there.
Yeah,
right? There was a lot of nitpicking in that list. But I mean, for a finale, that's too much nitpicking for a finale.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be
no.
able to pull 15 things out of a list to be like, why?
I was
why-
just waiting
what?
again, man. Just
It shouldn't be.
closure
Yeah.
is what you expect at, especially.
But that's why I blame
again,
myself, though, too. Remember, I feel bad for myself because I didn't enjoy it the way I think the overwhelmingly majority did. Because I see this.
I think they look at it different, though, Chris. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
think
do.
they look at it as the extension of Clone Wars. This is their Star Wars to a lot of people, and they loved just that, and they didn't really put that much to not give that side of credit. I just don't think they put that much
thought into
Well,
every single step of the way.
but thought,
Yeah.
but energy into the other
Yeah.
stuff that we're talking about. Like
Yeah.
I said, the Force users, the kids.
They let it
the
come to
past.
them eventually if it does, and if it doesn't, oh well. I
Yeah,
just don't
they're
know about
more
it. Yeah.
again. They like clones. They like this and they like that. And I
They're
think that
reasonable.
you get, and like I said, the energy that we put into what we getting and making everything else make sense. I think maybe we just put too much energy into that.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
it's us being the problem. It's not necessarily the
agree.
show. It's us.
Right, because the show
It's
could have
us.
done exactly what it was set out to do. Right,
Yeah,
it was just
it
boom,
did.
and we go,
Yeah.
whoa.
It did.
But
And you know what sucks? Here's
still fun.
Filoni. Hey,
Yeah.
let's throw in a bunch of cool Easter eggs these people will love, and they'll just dig it. And then we'll go nice soft story. We'll end it perfectly, and then put Omega in the rebellion.
yeah,
they're
and
gonna-
those
they're
Easter
gonna
eggs
eat
are
this-
making us
they're gonna
flip
eat
out.
this shit up, and they're gonna love every Easter egg and just want more and hope to find it, and not then figure out, oh, these
Yeah.
jackasses are angry.
I go, hey, we put Easter eggs. I forgot that those Easter eggs we put in mean so much more than just a cameo or
Yeah, you
or
can't
such
just do that
or
to
just
me.
an Easter egg is something completely different than like, hey, the story can go
Yeah.
here on this little
Because
snippet.
I
of-
know what happens to Fennec, right? I know what happens to Cad Bane. I know they exist later.
Yeah.
What's going on? The Asajj thing just has to come, and they need to. They should have been May 4th. If they don't announce a
Yeah.
saga
Oh, I got you. I
spin-off
got you.
show on May 4th, again,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say a huge miss more than I say
I mean,
about Star Wars.
I
Right?
feel
So
like
many dunks.
I feel like there's a lot of misses lately.
I know, dude. I know.
And it's sad to say this because I felt we've had one of the best years of Star Wars last with Ahsoka. Like, I mean, I was
Hold on.
so like, man, this is amazing. If this is Star Wars moving forward, this is great. I liked it. That's me personally. And I know you guys liked it too. You know what I mean? So I think I look at that as the most important things, and Bad Batch as like this little thing. But again, they got me on a few things. Yeah, Ernie.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to head out.
Okay, man.
This is cool. I wish I could hear the rest of the list, and when it gets up to 30,
Oh, the list is done.
with Chris,
This is done. We're almost
I
done.
thought we were
So
gonna hit 30.
yeah,
But
No.
I enjoyed it. I liked it at Star Wars. Yes, does it have stuff? Cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say and end with for myself is kind of going off to what you're saying right now. I hope this doesn't go on further. I hope this just wasn't this. As we say of all this wasn't answered, that wasn't answered.
yeah,
And we get back to those little Disney shows that are just Disney shows,
right.
to where we were waiting for answers
Yeah,
of stuff instead of just that. We
yeah.
got too spoiled and grew up with, do you know what this does to the story? Do you know what, this and this and that, and this has to be done and like that?
We didn't grow up with breadcrumbs, man. We didn't grow up with the baby crawls.
No,
we
and
grew
so
up
it's
with
nice to have it now.
Yeah.
Right now, in this day and age of, and I mean grow up of the new movies now, since this and Disney Plus coming, and some things have changed and turned around, and Filoni took over and this and that, and seeing the ending of this was like, okay, good show. Wish we had more answers.
Right.
I hope that's not on the next series that we see as well too, is what I'm saying. As far
as just keep leaving us with more questions and answers after
Yeah.
every single show. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, watch this. Before you go, how about this? It just hit me. They just put Omega in the Rebellion. That puts Omega really close to our Rebel heroes, but also close to Carson Teva. We can now. That's an easy link to get her into the Mandalorian / Ahsoka /
Doing it again.
Yeah, I know, but why put her in the Rebellion?
Yeah.
Why? You're giving me something.
They
Either
didn't
she
need
dies,
that. Yeah.
They
didn't need that extended cut.
They didn't need it.
Only to propel another story. That's
correct.
In my head,
That's
that's
what
the
I
only
see
reason.
coming.
Yeah.
So Carson
thought
Teva
about
is the
live
key.
action.
Yeah,
She's
but
gonna
live
pop
action.
off. We might even have seen her by now. Do we have all the names of those X-Wing pilots with them?
Who is with him on Ahsoka? He had 2 other pilots with him.
Yeah, I don't know if they've named them all. I don't know.
Wasn't one a female?
Yeah.
Dark brown hair. Yeah.
She was so important. She would not be going by Omega.
They're making
anymore.
a figure of her, aren't they? I think they are making a pipeline
maybe
figure
not
of
yet.
her. So
But
She
again,
wouldn't go as Omega though. They knew her. They keep saying this, right? He just said at the end, well, we kept you hidden all this time. So she can't be Omega
It's
at
like,
all. She has
that's
to have
kind of
another name.
well, they don't really know that anymore because they destroyed all the proof of her, right? So her name could be Omega Batcher.
she could have reinvented
and she'll be fine. I mean, Luke Skywalker lived on the Tatooine for a while,
With the name Skywalker. I mean,
right? And Vader didn't
yeah.
figure it out, so they should be all right. Yeah, dude. Again, we protected you for 19 years. Shut the F up, dude. She's 33 years old.
That'd be a cool tie-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. So,
But who was with him on Ahsoka?
What's that?
Who was with him on Ahsoka? I don't know.
I don't know yet. We don't know. But if we talked about it last week, the voice actress for Emery would make sense, actually. If you see her, she could probably pull it off. Voice actress for Omega couldn't, I don't believe, as a clone, but I believe the voice actress for Emery could
definitely
knock it out. That's why another disappointing reason. Well, I get why they didn't do it. I get why they didn't switch the voice actress for the adult, because that would just take away for the person that's been Omega for 3 years.
Right? I thought he was going to switch. I was waiting to hear the voice as well too.
It should have as far as canon goes, but
and that's why I put it
respectful to the voice actress.
And I put it closer as she wasn't that old. It wasn't that much of a time jump because Rex definitely would have been age in say 5 years. He would have gotten gray.
Agreed. That makes it difficult.
Late teenagers. But then when she said, the rebellion needs me, I'm all, okay, now that throws it in the whole thing. Those little, it's very little. Now, was that a mistake? Or was that a mistake? The rebellion needs me, and it wasn't that far along. You know what I mean? I have to question these things now because
that
now
part.
not everything is
It's
like
easy.
analyze. I'm hoping it is, but I'm hoping it's not a mistake. But all right, Ernie, take off, man.
Later, brother.
Scott was going to say something. Was it to me or no?
Yeah, it was to all of you. I was going to say, now that the season is over, on an A to F range, how would you rate season 3 of The Bad Batch?
A B-. All right. I love you guys.
That's
See you,
exactly
Ernie.
where I was
Later,
going.
man.
Me too.
See you, buddy.
I have
Yeah.
two
Same.
answers. I have
Actually,
two
it's
answers.
exact same B- with you.
B-.
Too.
Yeah. I think, like, again, it's B- is a very good rating on what Bad Batch offered us. I give it a D- on the stuff that it didn't. That again, those Easter eggs to me was a little bit too important to just not go further on it, right? But I think if I took the Bad Batch and I have this, Bad Batch is a very entertaining show, man. Like, it's I can't say bad things about the visuals, the music, the animation itself. There are certain cool plot lines and there's something cool on there, but like,
There's cool dude, Hemlock's a rad character.
I guess I'll word it this way. I'll word it this way. Bad Batch B-, impact on Star Wars, and F. They did a horrible job on impacting Star Wars. That's one.
There you go. At least as far as that was my problem was the landing. The landing.
The impact of bringing the world where it sits. Because you can't just say it and not.
And if you weren't going to do that and you didn't tease it, then I wouldn't be upset about it.
Exactly. If it was just a surface series and it is what it is, then we'd be having a different conversation. We'd be like, that was amazing. I don't have nothing to say about it. I really don't. I thought,
or I'd still be like, it was fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd probably be where I'd be, but it wouldn't be anger. And
Not
the only reason I've got any kind of
like,
passion about it is because like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
There was a path laid for us and we just didn't get to it.
There was a path laid out that, again, we didn't make it up. We might have twisted those theories again about the Omega's M count and all that stuff as far as like where it could go, but we still don't have any kind of direction even today, because not saying it still is not an answer. You know what I mean? It's like because they didn't say it doesn't give us closure.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, Obi-Wan started it, right? Whenever they said the path, and you know what the path is. It's the Underground Railroad.
Dropping Quinlan's name.
Dropping Quinlan Voss's name, throwing Asajj Ventress at us, knowing her history with Quinlan,
right?
Knowing that there's children Jedi, Force-sensitive kids. It makes sense that this would have been a series that led to that. They
escaped through a tunnel.
Yeah,
it was telegraphed, right?
Especially the third season, right, Scott? It wasn't. It was this like Bad Batch, and then it's like Bad Batch with this Star Wars story. Like, Bad Batch in Star Wars, and that's
the obvious connection. But then they did leave it open at the end. What did they say? What are they doing, all these kids? Well, Rex and I have a plan. Why didn't we see Rex?
It's like it says, exactly. It says nothing. It says nothing. It's just another thing to go like. I don't.
Your Rex's plan is the path.
Yeah.
I'm convinced this is where it's going, but
just if they would have just said it, you didn't have to show us. Just say it.
Yeah.
Don't even call it the path. Just say we've got a group of people taking care of these kids, and we're getting started. Then you bring in Ice Cube's son, animated, a little bit younger, and we get rolling.
I mean, all he had to do was Omega says, "I'm going to go to Rebellion, but at first I've got to go see Asajj and meet up with the kids." That would have been like, I mean, something like that. Again, they have it. I'm hoping that again in Filoni we trust, right? Our mantra. But on our whiteboard, maybe they have all this stuff, but it's just like, look, guys, we're still 7 years away from this.
I got bit on this one, dude. I got bit on this one. You guys know I say that every week. I agree. Filoni, I trust. Today was it got to F the show today. I was mad. I was like, I can't. Where's all my trust go? I can't say that anymore because this. It died the last 3 episodes, not just the last 50 minutes.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
It
wasn't just this episode. It was the last 4 weeks of this.
Yeah. And as we were on a high.
Yeah. I enjoyed it though. Overall, the season, I really did enjoy it. I thought that in this episode in particular, I thought it was fun. It was fine.
But it is these kind of things that,
it lacked the impact that it should have had. Right?
There it is. Yeah. Well, the way, again, we say should, again, it's subjective. It's the way it was laid out. It's not our fault.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. And we didn't just like pull this out of thin air and be like, Omega's moving rocks. And it's not even that I wanted it. It's just that.
And at first I thought you did, but it kept going there, dude. And that took a long time for me to buy into that because I'm like, nah, that's dumb.
It's just because of what I was
seeing. But you're right. They put every breadcrumb out to have that girl pushing rocks. And I'm like, no.
And then at the end, I'm going to go join the rebellion. Okay. But she should have like, you know what I mean? That would have been awesome. Dude. Like, I would have been
just
okay.
Move a broom.
It's not that I wanted it to happen. I just saw it happening, and it made too much sense. And again, going back to Saja's dialogue, it made it to where it's like, aha, I see what you're doing, and that's cool. Let's go with it. But I don't know where. It's like they just lost all faith in what they were setting up, and we're not Plan A or Plan Z, the one that we recorded. We're gonna put that as the finale, but that goes nowhere, sir. Yeah, we can't. People can't handle it. I don't know.
Can't handle it.
Yeah,
I can handle it.
Again, trust your audience, man. Trust them.
But again, I it's my own fault, right? It's our own fault. Part of it's doing a show. Part of it's really dissecting it because we're really super geeky.
Yeah.
And then we just I have nobody to blame but myself.
Yeah. Well, Gordon's asking, will you buy the evil super soldiers in Black Series figs? Is the real question.
No,
I don't know, Gordon. You know what? I bought Bad Batch figures the very first. The very first season I have them up. The very first rendition of them. I didn't buy any second. But I think I'm done with that. I don't want no more Bad Batch figures. But the first rendition is good. Yeah.
If they come out with them in vintage collection, I'll buy them. But I'd like to actually have the Bad Batch first. I'd like to have the Bad Batch figures first. So even in Funko, they gave me the first set right when the first season came out, and that's it. We haven't got anything else.
Yeah, no Black Series has
no
seasons 1 and 2.
I have the Batch and Omega.
Yeah.
Vintage collection has Hunter. All we have is Hunter.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
We've got a couple of side characters. We got a couple of clones that came from it, but yeah, Hunter.
Yeah. There was
a couple of clones that came from it is the lamest thing they could do, right?
Yeah,
because that works anywhere.
Well, yes, guys,
look at Gordon's laugh. I agree. We love Star Wars, and we do need to hug it out. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Again, it's hard. Like for me, like I said, I speak for myself on this too. And like Chris said, it's his own damn fault that he's pissed off. And but I see that. But again, I can't agree with that wholeheartedly because this is not something we made up. Again, and like we try to talk ourselves in and out of theories. But when it's like, here's the evidence, and we have to go by the facts. This is playing out in a galaxy far, far away, and we're just reporting on it. Right? So, you know what I mean?
What would I prepare for? This is emergency preparation. I'm seeing signs of something coming. How am I going to prepare for this? Well, this is saying that this is going to happen, so I'm going to prepare this way.
Yeah.
We just never happens to be that way.
Yeah, I'm okay with a show just being a show and not having an impact. I might say, it doesn't go into my line talk. It doesn't go into my theory crafty. But again, if it's presented to me that way, then that's how I'm going to take it. And it is what it is,
Like Acolyte, if it doesn't end up connecting to the Phantom Menace in any way, I'll live.
Yeah.
But they got to explain it. But they have to explain why it doesn't.
Right.
Sith or something. It was just some other Force sect, right? And then we're fine. Then I'm totally cool. That's going to be okay. That's far, like you said, it's far enough away where it won't even matter.
It's far enough away that exactly. And there's again, when you give a lot of time in between for things to come into play, you're cool with that too. And then on that note too, it's like, look, I'm not getting any younger and something like we weren't like this growing up. We were given stories and we ran with them. We weren't given and again, I understand the media. I understand the Disney Plus's means of we got this grand story, but we're only going to get this far into the grand scheme of it this year. Next year we'll get a little bit further, and next year we'll get a little further, and maybe a movie will jumpstart it a little bit, but then we'll go back to baby stepping. We didn't grow up that way, but video on demand, that's how things work today. So it is a transition for us to try to do that too, to try to accept that.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
As far as the Acolyte goes, we all know that it's set 100 years before the Phantom Menace. If it ends up that the Darth Plagueis is a master, who in the book was Darth Tenebris, right? If it ends up debuting Darth Plagueis' master and he's not called Tenebris, will that just mess with everything? Will that mess with everybody's perception?
It would mess with the people who read the books and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But,
because everybody knows that Darth Plagueis exists and Darth Plagueis
Right,
was Sidious's master, right?
Yeah.
But Tenebris was just a novel name, which is funny because I looked up the word Tenebris the other day and it means dark. So Darth Dark.
Dark.
And
he was a Bith, wasn't he?
He was a Bith, and I don't know the lifespan of a Bith, but
son of a.
But
Bith.
if they change it to where it is not a Bith and it's not Tenebris, I mean, because we are looking, the Acolyte, we're assuming is an Acolyte of the Sith, right?
Right.
It's the rise of the Sith.
Dark Saber. Right.
From the shadow, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
And we're right here, 100 years, considering how old Plagueis was, how old Sidious was.
Yeah.
This should be Plagueis' master.
Yeah, and my biggest question would be like, why? What would be the reason to change the name? Like, why couldn't you go with it? It doesn't make and unless it's because in my head I'm always gonna put like, well, that's not Plagueis' master. Then, I'm always gonna have that. So there's zero reason for them. There's zero reason for them to change the name. Absolutely zero.
I'd have a problem. If it's a different type of character and not a Bith, we could live with it. But it has to be the same name, I think.
Same name, yeah. Just like if want to make Plagueis,
if they do what we think they'd probably do, there's going to be words.
There will be.
That'll happen.
I would just question like, well, whose bright idea was that?
What I actually like what you said there. We're assuming the Acolyte is about Sith,
right?
Why we shouldn't do that?
No, we shouldn't. Not until we know, right?
The witch, who's not a dark sister, just another sect of witches, right?
Right.
Said this is a fight for the power and who's allowed to wield
and who controls it, right?
So this person could just be an acolyte of the dark side, an acolyte of something else. Just happens to have a red blade, right? Dark. Well, I don't know. It just I know the red blade should mean Sith. It should.
It always has in the past. I mean, I think even in the novels of Phantom Menace, I think in the novels it said like he was yielding a red bladed saber. So I mean, like
he did, yeah.
So it's like they made that connection.
Yeah, totally.
And in the I always talk about Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi, they did not have red lightsabers. Exar Kun and Eula Keldroma, they had blue and green lightsabers. There were no red lightsabers. So yeah.
Interesting.
But a dark side user besides a Sith could learn how to break a crystal.
I
suppose. So I guess maybe it might not even take us to 10 because I'm thinking all this Sithy stuff too, and the fall of Yoda, to be honest. And it may not even be that.
Yeah.
So I just looked up the timeline of Darth Plagueis, the novel Darth Plagueis, and it doesn't say the exact timeline of the novel, but he was born somewhere between 147 to 120 years before the Battle of Yavin.
So he'd be very, very young.
So that would put him at 20 years old.
Yeah, he'd be super young. It's not going to be unless it's a very. You can see the beginning of him.
No,
this could be Tenebris' master, is what you're saying.
Wow.
No, that's Plagueis' age. So Tenebris would already be.
Gotcha.
Got it.
That is Plagueis' age, not.
Then Tenebris should. If this goes Sithy, it's got to be. Yeah. You're right.
Unless they completely just ignore everything that came before, which
I will
say
is
possible.
Yeah, but I will say this though, like without seeing it, without knowing, to me that is a miss because it always be in the back of my head. Now, if they went their own direction and presented this own thing, of course we'll do what we do. But that would be, I think it's putting more fuel on the fire of people out there that are EU, stuff and saying that there's no source material when we have it. You don't have to follow it to the T, but we have it. Again, changing names for why? Why changing names?
Yeah, that doesn't work because what did they just do with Thrawn? You got Thrawn, you got Pelion, you got Rook, you got the Chimera, and you got Tantus. Those are very, very besides Sabaoth and Mara Jade, those are the most important things in the Heir of the Empire.
And they did not budge on those.
Right. So they understand that canon's important and the EU.
Yeah, and I'm hoping again. Yeah, you're right. And I hope again, it's that we don't need. There's no reason for us to change those names. We can do other things with them.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But to
Yeah,
change the name,
if you like I said, it'll be a fight when you do.
yeah.
But I'm sure that's going to
There'll
happen.
be-
But
it's just like looking for a
the name.
fight. You're looking for conflict,
Yeah,
then do
you
it.
got to at least keep the
That's
name.
what it goes to right there.
Yeah.
Is now you're just trying to poke the bear. Now
Yeah.
you're just,
Yeah.
and I feel a lot of them are going that way too. You're just doing things just to make people mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, watch this. You know what I mean?
All the warnings in the world. We really need this to be a myth named Tenebrous.
Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna have it. Yeah, exactly.
That ain't the way it's working.
All right, guys.
All
Well,
right.
Gordon did mention let's put this here and we'll close this out. The good thing is that we have more Star Wars to lick our wounds with just a few days. Again,
Woo-hoo!
May 4th, this Saturday, Tales from the Empire drops, and I don't know if it's probably midnight, Friday midnight, right?
My expectation
Saturday
is going to
morning.
be awesome because Tales of the Jedi was. So my expectation is that next Wednesday on this show, we're going to come in here pump and fist and stoked.
Now, with the Tales of the Empire, I am going to sit back and enjoy it. Just bring it on. Bring it on. And if it gives me whatever it gives me.
I don't know Jack about what's going on with those people anyway, as far as they have their own stories like to move.
Let's plug it in, right?
Yeah.
Barris Ophi, let's plug this up. Get get some Grievous in there. Let's get some Dathomir. Let's bring it on. Like I am just ready to sit back and just consume it without having like, okay, if
we're sitting together, we'll see how that rolls.
Yeah.
Right? Why the
bullshit, Chris? This is bullshit.
Yeah, it's nonsense. This can't happen.
Yeah,
she's so powerful now. She only got witched up next to Thrawn.
Yeah.
How come she can do all this? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she wasn't in the markings.
Yeah,
see,
she just earned those.
But but I saw that too, and I was like, no, don't go there. Maybe they'll explain it. Maybe
she'll lose her power.
Maybe that's not her. Maybe that's not her. I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. They really
mad you even said it.
Oh,
that's her twin sister. Now I'm really mad.
It's some other. Oh god. All right, guys. And then again, 34 days away from Acolyte. So we're right around the corner from the Acolyte, so we'll marinate on the Bad Batch, we'll marinate on Tales of the Empire. I know that Gordon asked if anybody's going to go see the Phantom Menace in theaters this weekend or whatever. This is just such a weird May 4th for all of us because every year we do something, and now it's going to be a private thing because things fell through on not out of our control. Like we were ready to roll, and things just kind of like did not fall in line. And it sucks because being a Saturday, we were looking forward to having like an all day May 4th experience. But again, it's not going to stop us from celebrating May 4th. And I do want to hear what other people are doing, or when we get together again, just to see what people did. Even if it's just sitting at home and watching Star Wars, that's all I want to do. You know what I mean? And play unlimited, beat Chris, boom, boom, boom.
Jesus Christ.
So, I got to go to work. It sucks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, things just did not fall. The planets did not align, but I'll close out here, guys. Of course, we did drop our Beyond the Pit, which was such a fun conversation. If you really want to just kick back with we just let the cameras roll and we start talking, and the talk goes, we have zero plans on our Beyond the Pit. So check that out. And just put us on in the background, and then maybe you'll follow along exactly what we're talking about, because that's the idea of that. It's just getting together and talking. We are going to be doing another toy chest that's coming up Monday. Don't know if we have a HasLab, but we do have a live stream to cover, Hasbro live stream, but HasLab is being delayed a little bit, so we'll talk.
Which
about
means
that.
some of the figures will be delayed too, because they might be connected to
the
HasLab.
Could be, yeah. Delayed might be good for the pocketbook. I know that, but
I'm very thankful for that. Yes.
But you still have like 40 days after the announcement. So
I got a pop announcement leak today, and then we'll talk about that.
Oh, see, yeah. No. So look forward to our episode 4 of Toy Chest coming out next week. And then of course we will do this again next week. So everybody, thank you so much in the pit. Thank you guys for joining us.
We'll be happier next week. We promise. I'm sorry.
We will. I'm again, it didn't destroy my day, but it did destroy some of my confidence moving forward in the fact that if they present something, I don't know if they're going to bring it back now.
That's
what has me, right?
through.
Yeah, now it's like,
I didn't like say if Andor, when they put in Easter eggs, I get there's no follow through. I get it. They're literally just Easter eggs.
Yes.
Filoni doesn't do that. Filoni's leaving us clues.
Always
has.
Yeah.
That bud.
Yeah, that's it. But like I said, with the different, I'll close with this. The difference between Andor and a Bad Batch, like Andor is a show too that really doesn't have that much impact. We're seeing the inner workings of it, and you're getting some details, but it doesn't have like this thing where if you take it out of the mix, it doesn't do a lot.
It's just a
but
cool
it doesn't
story.
promise either. Yeah, right. It's a good. It doesn't give us those breadcrumbs or Easter eggs to get us to that. Like, oh my God, if they don't answer this question, that's it. And a cartoon did that to us. It really did. It really presented some really world-breaking ideas. And again, we'll see what they do. If they announce another show, do we want another Ahsoka Omega show in the Rebellion this time with Rex?
We want Asajj. We want Asajj to come back and do something.
Yeah.
I want Asajj and Quinlan and Rex or whomever, whatever clone they take, to go across the galaxy saving Force-sensitive children and fighting the Empire. And here and there, running into Inquisitors, Stormtroopers, Royal freaking Guards, and once or twice Vader.
See, that would be a great title of Skeleton Crew, right? Skeleton Crew, Omega and Asajj, that's the Skeleton Crew that goes out there and
yeah, right. Bring it up forward, not
back then. Exactly.
But it's call it what you want to call it. Man.
It is what it is.
Show the path being built. Show these kids being safe. Show this place to get them to a safe place. The plan that they just talked about, right? That he has a plan with Rex. Show me that 100%. Plan. That's got to be it.
They created this thing, man. They can't just create this thing and leave us swinging, right? They gotta do something with it.
Exactly, and that's what again. But we want more because we're passionate. We're passionate about it. All right, guys.
Was it in one of those games too? Was it in like Fallen Jedi Order? Not the Path. Did they call it the Path? It was the Path. In the second one, they talked about the Path. He said something on the walls.
I don't remember.
They connected to other stuff.
I don't remember, but I would say yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that
right there. It's not like it's one.
No.
They've got other areas.
It wasn't a one and done. Even in Kenobi didn't explain it. It didn't explain it. It just presented it as this beginnings of something, but didn't go into depth. They said Quinlan was here. That's all.
Well, they said it was the Path, and they explained, that it was a way to save Force sensitives. And then we met. I forget his name, man, but Ice Cube's kid, right? His character, most people knows that's the Path, and that's where Sanjay, is that his name? That felt really.
Oh
bad.
Yeah.
That might be his name, but you know what I mean. It's when he came in. What the hell's his name? I'm losing everything. But he was part of it, or he knew of the Path. He knew the people that were helping, right? Yeah. So just got to get in there.
Yeah.
That's all. I love Star Wars.
I know.
Me too.
I still like Dave Filoni. I just don't trust him as much.
Yeah, this is broke some trust issue. We have some trust issues now. We'll get over it.
If he calls me and says, dude, trust me, keep trusting me. I got you covered. I'm going to announce it on Saturday. And I'll be like, all right, Dave.
Eat more vegetables, live a little longer, and then we'll all play out, right?
But when's it coming out, Dave? He's on December. And I'll be like, then I really trust you, dude. Then we're cool.
December 2035.
Well, then the Omega actress will match up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. All right. So for real this time, let's get out of here. This show is brought to you by Tashi Station Emporium. The switch is in the link below. What is it? A keyword. Starlight Digest podcast for 10% off your entire purchase for all your
only stand. The only stand that allows Metalhead to stand up on his own.
Yeah, that is a one pose figure, man. It really is. Unless you just But some exciting things coming your way on that. So it's better to get connected on Instagram and all that stuff for Tashi Station. We also got the art of Scott Solo, who dropped a Balin sketch today. It was really cool, man. Really, really good. Really fun. Yeah, I
appreciate it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll grace maybe it'll grace the YouTube 1 minute reviews. I don't know. Maybe look forward. Only one way to find out is to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification, right? So
I would recommend everybody that likes our 1 minute toy reviews, stay tuned for Tashi Station Emporium announcements, or not really an announcement, but just a preview.
There are some previews. Yeah.
A preview dropping on Friday morning. So be aware. It's coming.
Yeah, you see it for your first before it's official.
That's right.
And you've got Grand Admiral Franz, who is here with the list. Always a list. That's great. We always love lists.
I don't always do a list. It was just I had so many things that were bothering me. I knew.
I'm glad you did because we're all on the same wavelength there. I don't know what happened to Joey. He had to bounce early, so hope everything's okay with Joey.
He got sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No problem. And then, of course, the Fallen Fett had to leave early, but again, go over to the Federation, give him a couple likes, go get and consume the content over there. And then every Wednesday, when you're done watching him, bounce over to here because we got Star Wars to talk. We're not going anywhere. We might get heated, but we love it. So on Gordon's advice, big virtual hug to everybody in the pit, the whole Star Wars community, except for those guys, except for you, Dave. You know who you are. So
Dave.
Take that, Dave. Who's
not
Dave?
Filoni, the other Dave.
Not Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
not Flavy Davy. Not Flavy Davy either.
Not anybody we know. It's just that one dude. Okay, forget Dave. All right, guys.
Todd. His name is Todd.
Todd, yeah. Well, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, guys. Everyone. Anyway, with that, Scott.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.